Hello, and welcome back to this. Yes, the rumors are true. I am back, and of all the times that I could have chosen to restart my YouTube channel, this is the time that I chose. If you're watching this from the future and you're wondering if this is all during coronavirus times, the answer is yes. Also, if you're watching from the future, what's it like? Did we learn anything from this? Have we overhauled healthcare? Are we finally paying everyone a living wage? Let me know. If you're from the future, let me know in the comments down below what it's like. Where have I been the last 6 months? It doesn't matter. I want to watch a movie today with you all. Insurgent. It is Divergent number 2. The last video I made on this channel was about Divergent number 1. If you haven't watched the first Divergent movie, you don't need to, because I made a whole video about it. It's a lot shorter than the whole movie. We got Janine, who's a bad guy. We got Triss and Four, who are the good guys. And they're also in love for some reason. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me because Four's the worst person.
What makes you think you can talk to me?
When we last left the Divergent world, Janine had forced all of the Dauntless people to kill all of the Abnegation people. And so now they're back at Abnegation with a bunch of tanks that all have Janine's face projected on them. Can you imagine one of Janine's advisors being like, now we need to bring in tanks so that we can establish our dominance. And Janine's like, you better not put any tanks in there that do not have my face on them. And in the time that it took to project her face on all the tanks, the Abnegation people have just come back in. They have to fight them all over again. She doesn't seem like a very efficient leader. That's all I'm saying. Oh, also they find this box, which becomes relevant later. Meanwhile, Triss and Four are on the run. They end up hiding out in the Amity faction. They value kindness and peace and love.
I really don't know how much longer I can do this whole peace and love thing.
If it wasn't for the fact that they were fugitives on the run from an oppressive leader, this would look like a super fun camping trip. You get to sleep under the stars. Every morning, you wake up to freshly picked food. What could be better? I guess what could be better is having all of that while not also being chased by a woman who wants to kill you, but you know. Along with Triss and Four is also Triss's brother, Caleb, and also this guy, Peter.
Hey, look, a rainbow. Oh, it's pretty.
As you can see, things are going just great between these four until some bad guys show up in tanks that don't have Janine's face on them, so I guess they managed to slip those by her somehow. The leader of the bad guys is this guy, Eric. I think he was in the last movie. I don't quite remember. Oh, he was, because he was the one giving the injections. Eric comes into the building and he almost catches them, but then he gets distracted by the sound of a horse. So I guess he's gonna go see if the horse is Divergent. The Divergents and friends have decided that they're gonna sneak out of a window.
We're going out the window?
Peter's like, okay, cool, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And then he immediately rats them out.
Hey, they're up here! Hey! Go, go, go!
The Divergents and friends escape from Amity. I guess it's just Divergents and friend now. They finally get on the train, but it turns out that this particular train car is already occupied, and the folks that were there first are not too happy about it. Caleb steps up to make a well-reasoned argument about why we should just get along and all co-inhabit on this train.
He's saying that we're stealing from you.
Maybe it's a question of semantics, I suppose, whether it's stealing or charity, but it's
They decide to put aside their differences. Nah, I'm just kidding. They beat the crap out of each other. They get off the train. They're gonna go find the Dauntless people who are apparently in hiding in the Candor faction. But as they make their way toward Candor, Caleb is just kind of like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I'm not coming with you guys.
And he just bolts. He's just out of there. What? No explanation. So they get to Candor. All the Dauntless people are supposedly in hiding, but really just all hanging out on the porch. They meet the faction leader, who is this guy. You might know him from Lost. I actually know him better as the terrifying lawyer in Angel. That's right, I watched all 5 seasons of Angel. I watched most of 4 seasons of Angel. I wanted to commit. I did. But it was really bad. Anyway, remember that box we found in the beginning of the movie? That's relevant now. So Janine wants to open the box, but apparently the only way to do that is to abduct a bunch of Divergent people and put them through this.
Dauntless said initiating.
Divergent test subject 6 is no longer viable.
No longer viable, which means they're dead. Janine, who is basically a cartoon villain at this point, has this whole little back and forth with herself.
And assuming that all divergents are the same, some remain stronger than others.
After which she determines that she needs to find the most special, the most divergentest divergent of all. I wonder who that could be. Meanwhile, Eric's back!
It's really good to see you again.
And he's ready to kill some people. Eric rounds everybody up and he brings out his little divergent testing doodad.
Divergent. 10%.
Shit. You're almost normal.
I thought it was just you fit in one faction or you don't and you're divergent. Apparently, people can be different amounts of divergent. So like this guy is only 10% divergent, but this little girl is 40% divergent.
Divergent. 40%.
And then they test Triss and you'll never guess what percent divergent she is.
Divergent. 100%.
I'll be damned.
So, but here's what I don't understand. Back in the first movie, where Triss gets her original test, it tells her that she's divergent among 3 factions.
No, but what was my result? Abnegation, and erudite, and dauntless.
If she's 100% divergent, wouldn't that mean that she would test equally for all the different factions? If she only tests positive for 3 factions, then she's only 60% divergent, right? I don't understand. Point is, if you're 100% divergent, that should mean that you test positive for all 5 factions. Now we're back in Janine's place, and guess who shows up?
It's Peter, right? What do you want?
I would like a position in your regime.
He's just looking for a job.
Ideally, I would like a position with some advancement opportunities.
As someone who spent most of their adult life looking for jobs and only some of it actually having a job, gotta say, I get it. Boss Janine gives him his first assignment.
When do I start?
Let's talk about your friend Triss Pryor. How do I flush her out?
Peter, being the star employee that he is, gets Triss to come right over. Hey, you remember that scene near the beginning where they were all revving up to go to Candor and then Caleb just bounced and no one asked any questions about it? Well, he's here now. He's working for Janine. That's what happens when you don't ask questions. Lesson learned, Triss. Anyway, a bunch of other stuff happens and I'm just gonna gloss through. It's not really important to the plot.
We can do that later.
But anyway, they get the box open. You know, the box that Janine has killed probably hundreds of people to get open. So it better have something freaking spectacular in it.
Initializing message.
It's a voicemail.
Hello.
That's right. All that work and all those lives lost for something that most people just delete off their phone. So basically, the message is that the whole city and the whole factions thing is actually just all an experiment. They made the people in the city think that they were the last living humans, but actually there was a bunch of people.
We've allowed you to believe that you're the last of us. But you're not.
Look how freaking happy all these people are. If you just learned that you've been lied to your entire life about being the last humans alive and that your entire existence was all just part of a big experiment, I wouldn't be freaking frolicking in a field. And that's basically the end of the movie. Wait, there's one more thing.
Who knows what's out there? You'll never find out.
For's mom kills Janine, and then that's the actual end of the movie. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wasn't Janine the main and really only antagonist in this story? How is there going to be any sort of logical conflict in the next movie when the main antagonist is just dead? Well, friends, thinking that there was going to be anything logical in the 3rd movie was your first mistake. Subscribe to hear all about the absolute calamity that is Divergent number 3. Oh my god. I'm gonna keep doing this because I can't leave my house right now.
Thanks for watching. I hope you're doing okay. This is a weird time.